Hi, everybody. John Harris here with you. Billy's on assignment, checking out some of the college games down south. We got two or three of those we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. We're going to go over week 14 here from the cheap seats of week 14 of the NFL season as well. Before we do that, though, let's talk to you about the people that make us possible to continue to run this program and others like it on the Public John Media Network, I guess some have said. First off, my friend Dennis Ingraldi from Vineland Realty Corporation brings us to you. They are at 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey. Their phone number is 856-690-9482 for all your South Jersey real estate and business needs. If you need to rent out a place or rent a place, if you need to buy or sell a residence or a business, um, get a hold of my pal Dennis Ingraldi down at Vineland Realty Corporation. Any of the folks in the office can help you. They're 634 East Landis Avenue in Vineland, New Jersey, for all of your South Jersey realty needs. And our other great sponsor, we can't forget them, Schatzi Schnitzel House in Riley, Kansas, where today they'll be in Manhattan for the Christmas Kindle Festival. I hope I said that correctly. Uh, Near just off McCall Road at the American Legion. It starts at 3 p.m. Great food, authentic German cuisine made by my friend Chef Manford. I'll get that right. Chef Manford's a really good guy and a great chef. And they are at Schatzi Schnitzel House is the catering hall. They open that once a month, which it'll be open next week to for people to come in and buy samples of their food. Of course, known for their schnitzel, but other German food as well. Also available for other foods and private events, and on the Abilene train, where they go every so often to cater that. So that's Schatzi Schnitzel House. They are located at 121 South Broadway Street in Riley, Kansas, and their phone number 785-473-3355. If you want to have a really good private event, you can have it at their catering hall, or they'll go to your location at Schatzi Schnitzel House in Riley, Kansas. We want to thank those folks for helping us put on this show today. And we are about ready to tackle some business here. First off, let's talk about the NCAA games today. There's three or four of them that are really big. First, and I think these are, by the way, they're broadcast either on ESPN or ABC. Uh, I think the first one's on ESPN and the last three are on ABC today, back to back to back. The first one, BYU and Texas Tech. Texas Tech is picked by 12 and a half. And the reason these games are big games is because it's the last regular season of the college football season. They will be putting out the final list tomorrow, and those 12 teams will be the ones that make the college football playoffs. So some of these games are big because they're jockeying for position to get in there based on their records. Texas Tech is picked, like we said, by 12 and a half over BYU. Either team could make the playoffs. BYU obviously really needs to win. I think Texas Tech might be in a better way. And whoever thought that Texas Tech would have a great defense, and that's what's leading the way for them. I'm going to go with Texas Tech to win, but BYU, I think, to cover. Um, I think they might try to keep it close. Well, they will try, obviously. But I think BYU might keep it closer to 12 and a half. College, we stay away from usually because it is so unpredictable, but that's what makes it fun this time of year. Next would be uh, Georgia going to Alabama. Always a big game in the rivalry. This one is for the SEC championship. And the SEC, at least to themselves and on paper, look like the best conference in the country as far as NCAA football is concerned. Georgia's picked by 1.5. I'm going to go with Georgia, and I'm going to have them cover the 1.5 as well. Next, we would have Duke at UVA. A lot of people are hoping Duke wins this because it opens the doors to a lot of other teams as well as themselves if UVA loses. So, but UVA is picked by 4. but Duke runs the ball fairly well and has an RPO type offense. I'm going to take Duke to win and to cover. Just a hunch. I don't know why, but I do. I think they got a lot on the line. Who thought we'd be talking about Duke football? Usually it's always Duke basketball. They're the basketball school, but Duke football is getting better and better the last couple of years. Also, uh, one plays two today in the Big Ten championship. Indiana plays Ohio State, and Ohio State is picked by 4.5. Indiana, the last 2 years, has really climbed. They have gotten really good. But I think Ohio State, since they're at home especially, will be able to win and cover. Uh, and that wraps up to me the big games, to us, the big games in NCAA football. There's a few others. Also, out of um, football news, Penn State's hired a new football coach. The former football coach from Iowa State will be taking over, and Penn State's not bowl eligible, so we won't see any of his stuff on the field till next year, but he's going in to take over the program, and that ought to be a lot of fun. And Kansas State Wildcat coach Kleiman is retiring. He's not just resigning, he's retiring. It sounds like it's health related. They haven't come out and said that. He's a very emotional guy, wears his heart on his sleeve, and chances are this is kind of tearing him up. Every game is a stressful game, win or lose. I mean, he's going through a lot. So he is actually retiring. Chris Klein, a former Kansas State player, is coming over to take over the team. If they make a bowl game, which they've won enough, they are bowl eligible. Kleiman said if the school wanted him to, he would coach that final game. But obviously, and he's not upset though if not. So we'll see what happens with Kansas State. Do they get invited to a bowl? And if so, who's going to coach them? And I guess if they get invited to a bowl, what's coming out is a team meeting of which the school and the players will discuss it. The school has said a lot of it's going to be up to the players. If it's overwhelming in the room when they present it that they don't want to play this bowl game because of their head coach not being available, then they will turn down the bowl bid. Interesting, because any bowl is money for the school, and it's a pretty good chunk of change. So, but you can see the emotion there. Um, we're having some camera problems today, so every so often there's a little bit of shaking, but we'll be all right. We're getting through this. Um, and so it's going to be interesting to sit back and watch that. So there's other couple other coaching changes going on in the NCAA, but those are the big two as of right now that have done it. And of course, Lane Kiffin had his press conference and went to LSU. He's keeping the defensive coordinator. So he's really probably going to focus on offense. Defense is pretty good for LSU, but they need to shore up the offense, and that's what Kiffin's known for. Does anybody think this will be his last football stop as a coach? No, no. But if he's there 3, 4 years, you might see LSU back in title games fairly soon. So good coach, just kind of a nomad. He doesn't mind wandering if thinks it's a better opportunity. So we'll see what happens at LSU next year as well. Uh, let's go over to the NFL. Of course, both Bill and I took the Heat on Monday night, and I'm mad at myself because I wanted to pick Detroit. Um, I did not. I took Dallas, and no, I have here that we both took Detroit. Uh, so we'll have to go back and see that Detroit won. So actually, we both won, and it did go over the 54.5 point over under. So Bill and I actually both won that game because Detroit took care of Dallas pretty well. So we both took Detroit Thursday night football, and I'm okay with that because I'm not a Dallas fan. There's other reasons to not like Dallas as well. If they're America's team, then Benedict Arnold was America's president. Okay. No, no, I can't. There's nothing you could do to make me root for Dallas. And so I was kind of glad that they didn't do that. Sunday games, the early games. Bill is, like I said, away. So we aren't able to get his picks. There were some technical difficulties with it. Not Billy's fault. He is, like I said, on assignment, helping cover the SEC game and remotely watch the Indiana Ohio State game and give his input next week. So we'll see what happens with Bill. So I'm the only one that's going to be making picks the rest of the week here for the rest of the games. Seattle is playing Atlanta. Seattle's picked by 6.5, and it's a 42.5 over under. I'm taking Seattle across the board with the over. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Baltimore's picked by 6 with a 43.5 over under. I'm taking Baltimore and I'm taking the over and I'm taking them to cover. Cleveland is playing Tennessee. Tennessee has been trying to keep games close lately. It's a 3.5 point spread, but I'm still taking Cleveland to win by 4 or more across the board. 33.5 points. Their defenses on both of these teams are good. I'm going to go with the under, even though it's a low over under. I'm going to go with the under. I think it could be a 14-10 game or something. So we'll see what happens there. Washington or Indianapolis is playing Jacksonville. Huge game. Might be the game of the week. It's really a huge game for that Southern title in the AFC. Big game. And I'll tell you what, Indy is picked by 1.5 points. I think I'm going to go with, and I'm making my decision on the fly as we speak right now, folks. I'm going to make my decision. It's going to be Indianapolis. I think Jonathan Taylor, a big dose of him is what we're going to see. And I think that's going to be enough for Indy to pull it out. Over under is 46.5. I'm going to go with the over on that one. And of course, like I said, Indianapolis is picked by 1.5 points. I think they're going to cover. Obviously, I think it's a field goal or something, but 1.5 is small, so I'm going to take them to cover. Washington is playing Minnesota. I don't know if J.J. McCarthy's playing, but to be honest with you, I like Washington. I think Jalen Daniels is back in there, but even if not, Mariota's done a great job. I think Washington takes this. I really do. I don't see that much out of McCarthy. Maybe this is his year of growth, as they say. First year starting, second year, but all last year he was on injury. Matt Brosmer hasn't shown, he's only played one game and he struggled, but had Minnesota a chance to win it until he threw the very last pick while being tackled. A lot of people hammered him on that, but it was fourth down. If he had to make an effort, he had to throw the football, and he was being hit and on his way down when he threw it. So the kid played well enough to keep him in a game, considering he never played in an NFL game, and was actually, if he wasn't the last round guy picked, I might have even been signed as a undrafted free agent. So for him to show Kevin McCarthy, who's a quarterback guru, that he could play a little bit and be on the team, that's a plus for him. So I think people have hammered him a little bit too much this week. And outside of one quarter this season, I haven't seen J.J. McCarthy show me that much yet. So I'm going to go with, believe it or not, I'm going to go with Washington to win this football game. And the point spread is 1.5. I'm going to take Washington to cover that and go over the 43.5 point over under. Next is Miami and the Jets. This is our ho-hum game of the week. There's nothing on the line for either team. Neither team, I don't think, can make the playoffs. Miami might have an outside shot if like 200 things go their way. So, but they would have to win this game. I'm taking Miami across the board, over 41.5. They are picked by 2.5, and the Jets can't score. The Jets can't score in a strip club with $10,000 sticking out of their pocket. All right. So, no, the Jets can't score. I think Miami will win, and I think they'll win fairly big, definitely by more than a 1.5 point spread. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. It's in Tampa Bay. It's 41 and a half over under. I'm going to go over. And the point spread is 8.5. Tampa Bay's favored by, I think they're going to win it big. I really do. Uh, so I'm going to go with the Bucks on that one across the board. Denver is playing Vegas. Wow. Denver's draw here toward the end of the season is great because Vegas is like the Jets. Same amount of money, same strip club, can't score. Uh, so I'm going to go with Denver. It's 40 and a half on the over under. I think Denver will go over that almost by themselves. This is not going to be a pretty game to watch if you're a Raiders fan. But, got to give Pete Carroll some time. Once he gets his team there, you give him the right players. He's a heck of a coach. But right now, they need to find some more players. They got a couple. You got Brock Bowers. You got Max Crosby on D. Gino's not having a great year, but there's no offensive line. He's running for his life. So Denver's going to win that one and win it by more than actually it's 7.5, and they'll win it by more than that. Chicago, the Bears are playing Green Bay. Everybody's picking Green Bay to win this one by 6.5. I think Chicago's going to win it. I think flat out. I think Chicago's going to win it. It's in Green Bay, I know, but if they get the running game going and Caleb Williams runs a little bit, I think Green Bay could win this. The Bears, or I'm sorry, Green Bay could win it, but I think the Bears are going to win it. Green Bay is favored. The over-under is 44 and a half. I think if it's under that, that's how Chicago will win. And I'm picking the Bears across the board in the under on that. That one's going to be interesting because the Bears lead that northern division of the NFC, and the Packers are trying to get there. So if they win that one, they're in the hunt for the division. The Detroit game made it interesting as well. Minnesota is pretty much out of it, which is unusual to say for the Vikings, but injuries have hurt them as well. So, and they haven't scored like we're used to seeing. The Rams are playing the Cardinals. It'll be Jacoby Brissett again at quarterback. Kyler Murray's out. I think Kyler Murray's done for the season, and I think Kyler Murray has played his last game as a Cardinal. He's been inconsistent at best, so he's out. Technically, he's injured right now, but I think even if he was healthy, they wouldn't play him. So the Rams are favored by 8.5. The over-under is 47.5. I'm going to take the Rams across the board. I think their offense is too powerful. I think they're going to run away with this. And so I'm going Rams across the board in the over 44.5. Even though the Rams were picked by 8.5, it's kind of a big spread. I just don't know how Arizona's going to score enough points to keep up with them. So Sunday night, big game, huge game. Again, similar to the Indianapolis-Jacksonville game. This is for wild card spot, but Houston can stay in the hunt with the winner of Indianapolis or Jacksonville. When you look at the schedules, Houston's got a pretty good advantage after this Kansas City game. Their defense is just flying around the football. I'm a Chiefs fan, as anybody watching knows. But I'm going to tell you, it's a 41.5 point over under. The Chiefs are picked by 3.5. It's in Kansas City. I think, I hate to say it, I hope I'm wrong, to be honest with you. But we have a thing where we separate our heart from our head. And when I look at the head, when I look at the logic, the way both teams are playing, I think Houston's going to win this game, which of course means they'd cover because Kansas City's picked. I hope I'm wrong. Anytime you go to count the Chiefs out, it spells trouble. But I think I'm counting them out. And I think when this happens this Sunday, I don't think the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. Technically, right now, they'd be quote unquote in the hunt, outside looking in. And I think they're going to be outside looking in the window all winter long. This might be the first year in a long time, and definitely the first year since Patrick Mahomes has played, that they don't make the playoffs. They're not going to win the division. Denver is really good, and the Chargers are in the hunt there as well. Um, so I think Houston to win, Houston to cover the 3.5, and the game, they'll both have a shootout, so it'll be over the 41.5. And Monday Night Football, last but not least, this could be a great game. Last I knew, Justin Herbert was going to play, even though he had a procedure on his left hand this week, his non-throwing hand. Um, he had an operation on it technically, and but he's trending to play. That makes a huge difference. And if he plays, it's going to be a really tough game. I am picking Philadelphia. I am picking them across the board. It's a big game for the Eagles. Now, a little pressure came off of them with Dallas losing the other night, but still, they want to work on that seeding. Right now, they're between second and third in the NFC in seeding when they actually had the number one spot. If you're Philly, you're probably rooting for the Packers today, and you are probably rooting for Arizona today because you'll get yourself right back up probably in the first place seed, if not tied for it or something. So this is a big game for Philadelphia, seeding wise, for the playoffs. So I'm taking the Eagles across the board to cover the 41.5 point spread and to cover the 2.5 point spread that they're picked by. Might be close, might be a field goal, might be 3 points, 4 points. I think Philly's going to win it. I think they're going to come out of the offensive doldrums a little bit. But it is a big difference if Herbert plays. Um, we'll see what happens. We still don't know as of yet. It's Saturday morning when we're filming here, so we will see what happens. That is it for our NFL picks. I can tell you our results here through last week. So far, our season results. Bill is picking games is 131, 65, and 1 with a 67% winning percentage. That's a great job, Bill. Against the odds, 103, 91, and 2. And considering Bill was in the 40 percentile, he is now over 50 and has a little wiggle room at 53.1%. Again, Bill's coming gangbusters, baby. I don't have many weeks left. I hope I can hold him off. Over under 103, 91, and 2. And that's exactly what he is with the odds. And again, exactly at the 53.1%. So Bill's come from nowhere on the odds and on over under. So he's on a hot streak. Got to watch him. Meanwhile, and Bill has time to get his picks in. And if he gets them in, or if we can figure out what they are from the technical end, we will post them for you so that we can continue to keep our records as accurate as we can. In games, I am 133, 63, and 1, only 2 games ahead of Bill, and only 0.9 percentage points. So it's 67.9 against Bill's 67%. Odds, I have a slight edge. I'm 116, 79, and 2, which is 60% right on the money, only about 7% above Bill. So we're both going to make you money if you trust us. All right, so it's up to you. Over under, I'm covering pretty well. 111, 89, and 2 at 55.5%. I've got Bill by a little over 2 percentage points. So there is your up-to-date NFL rankings for the season. Like I said, we're going to try and figure out Bill's picks from the technical standpoint and go from there. And the last bit of news that sports news that 2 things we see. Number one, next Friday night, Friday. John Cena, if you're interested in WWE, is wrestling his last match. He has flat out said, and I've seen interviews, he's not resigning and not doing this to act and all that. He's retiring from wrestling. He is retiring, which is a big difference. You had guys come back and do special guest appearances and stuff, but he has said no, he's retiring. It's too physical a toll for him. I don't know who his opponent is, but it was decided last night at WWE SmackDown. You can look that up if that interests you. I cannot see Cena not winning this. All right. Vegas may even put him as a favorite, to me is almost like a sporting event. It is entertainment, and they'll tell you it's entertainment, but we don't know until it happens. How is it scripted? How is it set up? We'll see. The only way, I'm suspicious and I'm a skeptic, the only way Cena loses is if the retirement message is more of a PR stunt and he comes back after losing for a rematch, which would be a huge seller as well. Um, but I don't know. If he's really retiring, then I think he's going to win next Friday, and that'll be that. So in the NBA, we'll shift gears to the last bit of sports in the NBA. Uh, Oklahoma City, I'm just going to mention it, is they're not just on what you call a heater. They are having an amazing season so far. They are 22-1 so far this season, with that's probably about a third, maybe about 28% of the season played so far. 22-1 is remarkable, and they're continuing to play that way, and they might repeat as NBA champions, folks. It's going to be interesting. So, Kevin Durant last night passed Wilt Chamberlain to become the 8th all-time leading scorer in the NBA with over 31,000 points. Houston won. I'll say that Kevin Durant's played for more teams than I have colors of hair in my mustache. And there's brown, gray, white, black, all kinds of stuff. But Kevin Durant's played for a lot of teams, but one thing he's always been consistent with is scoring. He is a great scorer, and that's going to be interesting to watch when his career ends. And he wants to win another championship. He won one with Golden State, Steph Curry. He'd like to win one, I think, where he is the primary player, or at least one of them. And I think legacy-wise, that's what he's looking at. So for Milwaukee, Giannis is out with an injury, a calf strain. So obviously his trade value may go down if Milwaukee was looking to trade him. The two parties are discussing Giannis's future, and this might hurt it before the trade deadline as far as Milwaukee being able to get anything for a trade that's of value. Even though it's not a permanent injury right now, if you traded for him, he couldn't play for probably a couple of weeks or more. I don't see a team doing that. Could be wrong, but I think he'll be in Milwaukee for at least the rest of the season. And then he loves Milwaukee. He loves the coaching staff. He loves the city. Wouldn't surprise me if somehow they figure out a way to sign him. So, and last but not least, just quickly, two things. One, Philadelphia is playing a lot better than everybody thought, even without a whole lot of help from Joel Embiid. Andre Drummond is serviceable and doing pretty well. Is he Embiid as a scorer? No. He's a better defender, I think. Good passer and a really good rebounder. He's kind of solidified the Sixers. Then you have, but the big story there is Tyrese Maxey is just having a phenomenal season scoring. He's fast, he's a good passer, and he's really putting it all into play this year, and he's leading the Sixers really. And Philadelphia might have a playoff team there that could cause some damage if they keep going so the way they are. So they're doing well. And the Knicks last night, last but not least, put a thumping on Utah. The only way you could call them a big thumper is if they were the Rabbit and Bambi. I mean, they are thumpers right now. And they crushed the Jazz by 40 points. And they had 47 points in the third quarter alone, which is the highest in the NBA so far per quarter, and also the highest in Knicks franchise history. 47 points in the third quarter. They had already pulled away anyway. It was never a game. And then when they got that, it was over. It was way over. It was over before this was over the over. This was just unbelievable. Brunson and Bridges had great games, as well as Karl Anthony Towns, and the Knicks just took it to the Jazz big time. So there you have it. That's really all in sports news right now. Ovechkin is hot right now, scoring goals in the NHL for the Capitals. 40 years old, and he's still scoring goals. I mean, I think this guy could score until he's played till he's 50 if he wants to. You can't stop him. You cannot consistently stop him. And that's a great story. So, well, that's going to be it for us from the cheap seats today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, we're going to try and sort out Billy's picks and get them posted on Facebook if we can, as far as the NFL is concerned, either later today or early tomorrow morning, so that we can keep season records up to date as well. Thank you, folks, for tuning in for Vineland Realty Corporation in Vineland, New Jersey, 634 East Landis Avenue. Phone number 856-690-9482. And for Riley, Schatzi Schnitzel House in Riley, Kansas, 215 South Broadway, 785-473-3355 for some good grub. And I'm going to go sample some of it today. Make sure you join us next week and take a peek at our Facebook page. Just as an aside, a personal note, the Public John Studios, I'm on the road today as well, out of a hotel room, because the Public John Studios have suffered a couple of things. One is there's no water at the moment, and the other is there's no heat at the moment, and we are in a Kansas December temperature situation. There is a GoFundMe page for, it'll say John Harris, and it'll say urgent home repairs. If any of you are of the mindset and can help us out getting those things, that would be great, because having both of those things happen at the same time is a little daunting financially, to say the least. So, so that is a GoFundMe page, urgent home repairs, and you'll see my name, John Harris, on it. So thank you, folks, for tuning in, and have a great week, everybody. Enjoy all the games, and keep an eye out on Facebook for postings for Billy's games this weekend. We will talk to you soon. Have a great week, everybody.